All right, y'all. Welcome back to On the Rise podcast, and we're on episode 16. I'm not gonna get my the wrong number this time. I'm actually saying it correctly. We're on episode 16, y'all, and today is gonna be a good episode. I'm here with well, I don't know. At this point, you're low key my co-host, bro. I ain't gonna
I was gonna
lie.
say, I was gonna say.
I ain't gonna say. I'm not even gonna say special guest anymore. You're at this point. You're my co-host. So,
Good
um,
luck, charm.
yes, sir. No, I love it when you're on my episodes. But I want to welcome.
So me, I'm the type of person that before I used to deal with that a lot. I used to be get angry very quick. Am I perfect at it now? No, but I have gotten better. You know. And I think one of the things that has really worked for me is just removing myself away from the situation when I'm not ready to speak about it. When
Yeah.
something happens in the moment that gets you angry, if you start talking and speaking what your heart is saying, your heart is feeling anger, is feeling rage. So everything that's going to come out of your mouth is not going to be something good. So what is the right thing to do, or what is the smart thing to do? Remove yourself from the situation. Why? Because you're scared of the person? No. Why? Because you don't have anything to say? No. You're not being a coward by removing yourself. You're actually being wise because you do not want to be offending somebody else
Yeah.
the way that maybe they offended you, or saying something that is not, in your heart to say, but at the moment you're feeling it because you're just so upset.
Hmm.
So the right thing to do is remove yourself from the situation until you're ready to have a talk about it.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to On the Rise podcast, and we're on episode 16. I'm not gonna get my the wrong number this time. I'm actually saying it correctly. We're on episode 16, y'all, and today is gonna be a good episode. I'm here with well, I don't know. At this point, you're low key my co-host, bro. I ain't gonna
I was gonna
lie.
say, I was gonna say.
I ain't gonna say. I'm not even gonna say special guest anymore. You're at this point. You're my co-host. So,
Good
um,
luck, charm.
yes, sir. No, I love it when you're on my episodes. But I want to welcome Pastor Tony from Arkansas. I appreciate you making time again
Yeah.
to be on episode 16.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I just throughout this week and last week, I was just trying to really think about what I want to talk about next because it's kind of, I want to expand also on my topics, not just obviously my main goal is to spread the gospel and have
Right.
it faith based, but I also want to like talk about other things as well in the future
Mm-hmm.
is my goal. But before we get into it, I want to shout out Pastor Tony's. He's dropping a Christian song. It's called "Gratitude" by Brandon Lake, but it's like
Yes.
his own twist to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Him singing it, and I'll have it in the description down below in the video and on the screen here. So
Yeah.
you guys can go check it out. You know what I'm saying? Pastor Tony,
We're
actually,
excited.
you actually sing a lot, and you're actually a pretty good singer. It's crazy.
Well, that's what I started doing first. That's, I guess, you could say that's my strength, and that's what I love to do.
Wow.
Worship has really been something that has helped me in my spiritual life a lot. So that's what I lean towards too. It's kind of my anchor, the way I connect with God. And any musicians or worshipers out there will understand what I'm saying. So the video's out now. It's my YouTube channel will be linked to this video, so you guys can
Yeah,
go
go
ahead
check it out,
and
y'all,
check it
because it's
out.
actually sick.
I'm excited. It's my first English cover.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's
Yeah,
actually
all my other
cool.
videos are Spanish, but this is my first English. So trying to target everybody and just be able to reach out to everyone. A lot of people that maybe don't know Spanish but are more inclined to the English language. We did that for them as well. So
Man,
we're excited and we're hoping that this is a blessing to everybody the way it's been to us.
yeah, I like that you said that. Like this, man, that's a whole other topic. But like, there's different ways to connect with God. That's just like
Yeah.
your way of
Hmm.
connecting with Him. You know, I think that's so
Yeah.
cool. And I don't know how to sing at all personally, so that is not in my blood. You feel me? Talking is in my blood, but not singing.
Yeah.
It's completely different. But I think that's it. But yeah, I'll leave it down in the description below, y'all, and just like on the screen, as you guys saw. It should already be dropped by the time I upload this video.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're on episode 16
Yeah, you
with
got it.
Pastor Tony again, you know what I'm saying? And obviously, we want you more, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
um, but I appreciate it for real. So today's topic is anger. And
Mhm.
I know this one's a tough one because I know a lot of people in this world, they get angry at God or angry at themselves or at people, their best friends, maybe their boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever. And so I titled this episode 16 from wrath to peace.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, I gotta be more creative with my titles, you know what I'm saying? um, but or we can also call it, slow to anger as well.
Mhm.
But obviously, I want you to do most of the talking and everything as we've been doing, and I have my own small little points as well.
Mhm.
So, what do you think about like how to? So, I guess I have a few questions for you,
Mhm.
and I'll go ahead and read them to you to get
Mhm.
started. As Christians, right? How do we deal with anger verses to help? We always got to put the verses down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then and then a few other ones. How to deal with the past, like kind of with all
Mhm.
that. And then what are some ways to handle a situation without getting angry?
Mhm.
And you can obviously reword some of those questions too. I know those might not be like the best like questions, but
Right. Right. Right.
or if I word them correctly. But yeah, and I got a couple of verses that I'm gonna read to at the end, and I
Mhm.
just want and I'll try to chime into as much as possible. So,
Mhm.
what do you think? You can answer the first question or the second
Yeah.
or whatever you want to do, or go from bottom to top. It don't matter
Yeah.
to
I
me.
got you. I got you. Well, first we need to understand that anger is an emotion, you know, and emotions do not exempt anybody. Whether you're a Christ follower, whether you're not, whether you believe in God or you don't, whether you go to church or you don't, anger is gonna reach everybody at one point in life. You know, I think that's the misconception that people have towards people who are in the path of God, because once they see that side of you, they automatically say, "Wow, and you're a Christian." But people don't understand that that is also an emotion. And
Mm,
we as Christ followers are allowed to have emotion. We are allowed to feel angry. We are allowed to feel frustrated at one point in our lives
yeah.
because we go through the same things that anybody else does, you know? So, like I said, anger is an emotion. It says it in the Bible as well. Um, I think that there's good ways to deal with it. That should be the difference between you know us and people who don't go to church or don't read the Bible or are not very familiar with what the word says. We should act differently. Now, do we always do? No, because we are also human.
Hmm.
We're flesh and bone,
That's right.
and
We're human
sometimes,
too.
yeah, we're humans too, exactly the same way.
Yeah.
But I think that there's good points how to deal with it, how to deal
Yeah.
with anger for sure.
That's why
um
I asked us one of those questions, like what's a different way to handle it? You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
I know. I know. Here, I'm going to read that one first because that's one that really caught my attention. What are some ways to handle a situation without getting angry?
Yeah, I want to know
Um,
myself.
yeah. So me, I'm the type of person that before I used to deal with that a lot. I used to be get angry very quick. Am I perfect at it now? No, but I have gotten better, you know. And I think one of the things that has really worked for me is just removing myself away from the situation when
Mm,
I'm not ready to speak about it. When
yeah.
something happens in the moment that gets you angry, if you start talking and speaking what your heart is saying, your heart is feeling anger, is feeling rage, so everything that's going to come out of your mouth is not going to be something good. So, what is the right thing to do, or what is the smart thing to do? Remove yourself from the situation. Why? Because you're scared of the person? No. Why? Because you don't have anything to say? No. You're not being a coward by removing yourself. You're actually being wise because you do not want to be offending somebody else
Yeah.
the way that maybe they offended you, or saying something that is not, in your heart to say, but at the moment you're feeling it because you're just so upset.
Hmm.
So the right thing to do is remove yourself from the situation until you're ready to have a talk about it.
Mm,
You know, um, Another thing is identifying your triggers. What is it that triggers you?
Yeah.
What, John, what might triggered you is not what triggers me. Some things
Yeah.
might upset you, and to me, some those things that upset you are really not that like crazy,
Yeah.
but vice versa. So once you identify your triggers, whether it's topics that people talk about, whether it's maybe vocabulary that they use, whether it's maybe just that person's personality, maybe it's that person himself or herself. If that person triggers you, remove yourself from that.
Mhm.
Am I saying remove yourself in a way where you start hating on that person? Of course not. But because we have to love. But you're also being wise and removing yourself from the person that just brings that negativity into your life.
Yeah.
That is not a sin.
That's right.
That is not a sin. That is being wise.
That's right.
So another thing you can do is express your concern calmly. Maybe sometimes people say things or do things because they don't know it triggers you.
Mm.
So you have to voice that.
Hmm.
But how do you voice it? You have to voice it properly in a calm manner. Hey, can I sit down and talk to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What's going on? Well, you know what? There's things that you say or that you said that really triggered me, that really upset
Yeah.
me.
That
I
gets
would
that
really
gets
appreciate
me.
I would really appreciate if you don't say that, You don't have to share your
I,
past life and or the reasons why it triggers you if you don't want to, but just say that it does.
hmm Just so
And then
they're
that
like
person,
aware of it, you know.
yeah, so they can be aware of it because sometimes they might be saying things that they don't even know upsets
They
you, and
don't
that's
they
not
don't know
fair
unless
to that
until you tell
person.
them. That's right.
Right. And that's not fair to that person.
No.
If they don't know and you're upset, that's not on them, that's on you for not voicing it.
Yeah.
But you have to express that concern calmly.
I like that. I
Also,
I need to get sorry to cut you off. I need
yeah, you're very good.
I need to get better at that too with like my friends or just like my own family, you know.
Right, right.
I want to like sit down and like okay, like this kind of like annoys me or like kind of triggers me, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
can do it like you said in a loving and like calming, peaceful way.
yeah.
And they can take it
N-
how they want,
Right.
but
Now, if you're the person that is being told these things, like, hey, can you not say that? You need to be in that right mindset as well, and that maturity level, so you won't be offended by somebody coming to you and speaking to you about their triggers.
yeah.
We need to also acknowledge those people's emotions.
Mhm.
And you as well, you need to acknowledge your own emotion. You know what, this is what really upsets me, and if this is what really is upsetting me and triggering me, I need to voice it. That's when you acknowledge.
Yeah.
And it's okay to acknowledge. Sometimes we feel like not like acknowledging will kind of make me feel or kind of make me look not strong enough, kind of make me look weak, and that's not true.
Nah. Yeah.
Acknowledging your emotions is totally fine, you know obviously don't let your emotions take over.
Mhm.
That's something we have to be careful with, but you can acknowledge it.
Yeah, I feel
Once
like
you acknowledge it yourself, then you're able to go ahead and speak about it, with
I
others.
feel like it's even harder for like men too to like express their
Of
feelings
course.
because like
Of
we're
course.
always like we think or like the women always think like oh we gotta be like this like tough guy you know what I'm saying but we
Yeah,
I mean
yeah,
believe it or not men got some feelings too you know what I'm saying it may
yeah,
not be like
yeah.
all the time but like
Hmm.
we still got feelings you know we're still humans and yeah, but I mean, there's some men out there that are even way more emotional than us too. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly. Exactly.
but I like that's
And,
what you said. You know,
and
that's
and
good.
there's a balance too. You can't be so emotional because then
Y-
everything's going to affect you, and then you're not gonna be healthy mentally or emotionally.
Yeah,
Now, if you're that person that struggles with that, you got to refuge yourself in the Lord.
yeah,
He's the only one that's gonna help you get out of that emotion.
hmm
The other question: how to deal with the past?
hmm
Maybe you have anger because of what you lived in the
that's
past.
kind of what I was
Maybe
kind of thinking with
Yeah,
that
maybe you have
question.
anger because of what you did in the past. And what you need to understand is that if you ask for forgiveness of your past mistakes, God already forgave you. So there's no need to continue torturing yourself, to continue blaming yourself, to continue putting yourself down because of those past mistakes when God doesn't even remember.
He probably don't even remember. Yeah,
Yeah, once you
for
have
real.
forgiveness, he completely
He
erases
just
that
yeah.
and he moves on. So if he moved on, hey, you got to move on.
We gotta move on.
We
Yeah.
need to understand that our past does not identify who we are.
Mm,
It's made us who we are. It's probably made us stronger. It's probably made us wiser, but it does not identify who we are.
that's right.
God is who identifies who we are.
That's
So, in
good.
regards to that question, it is very important to know who you are in Christ
Yeah,
and believe the word that He's spoken over you, rather than the words, comments, and things that people and society say about you.
that's right. Yeah.
I guess that's one thing that I've never really cared, like, what people think about me. Now, I tried my best to take care of my testimony. I'm not going to live a crazy life because I don't care what people think. There's a fine line that we can't cross either. Oh, well, I don't care what people think, so I'm just going to do whatever. Well, that's not the right attitude. It's more like, I know who I am. I know I've made mistakes. I know I'm not perfect, but I will not allow the comments of those people that still are trying to target the person that I used to be get to me.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. Like you're trying to
Yeah,
become
because
better, like
now,
not make those same
yes,
mistakes.
yes, I
Yeah,
was that person and I acknowledge it, but I'm not that person anymore.
that's right.
And if people can't see that, then those people should not be around you.
That's just facts.
Simple. Just simple as
Sim.
that.
I also like what you said. Sorry, going back to way to your first point. You like
Yeah.
walk away from like the anger too, because
Right. Right.
my dad specifically has always like taught me that like if you're getting angry at someone, it's best just to, like calm down, walk away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I handle personally. Certain like situations. I just like I kind of just walk away. I don't say anything. I'm like let it be. You know what I'm saying? And then you can
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
back if when the time is right and all that.
Right. Right.
I like that's what you said too. But
Yeah. Hmm.
anyways, continue.
So yes, so that was the second question. How to deal with the past
Yeah,
in regards to anger. Honestly, don't forget about your past. You know what I mean? If it really affects you in a negative way, forget about it. Now there's people that use their past as a testimony. And I think that's what God really wants us to do, because there might be people going through the same thing, making the same mistakes that you did, and you're going to be that bridge
yeah,
for people to know Christ, because they're going to see, oh, if he did it with me, or if he did it with that person, he could do it with me. So we could use it as our testimony, but don't let that define who you are.
yeah.
So
That makes sense.
that's that.
Yeah, for real. Did
That
you
is
want to
that.
share like any like type of verses to maybe like
Yes. So I put some verses here
yeah.
um
What you got?
that spoke about anger. It says here on in James 1:19, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger.
Man, I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just listen. Sometimes, John, it's just a matter of just us listening and not saying anything. Just listen. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. You don't have to speak anything.
There's not this
You
like
know?
big deal that you have to do. It's just
Yeah.
like
Now
just
there
listen.
is
That's it.
resources. There is resources to deal with anger. Let's say something happened and you're just so upset and you can't voice it in the moment because you know that it's gonna offend somebody what you're about to say. Walk away. Go to the gym. There's people that use the gym for that.
Man, I
You
have
know?
before.
There's people that go for a run. There's people that go grab their guitar and they start just playing. There's different outlets that you can take, good outlets, of course, that you can take, so you won't be in the midst of that situation in the moment and say something that you're not supposed to, or that
Yeah.
you'll regret later.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
another verse that I used here, and it's a verse that speaks in a way that makes you more wise if you really follow this. It says, "Slow to anger has great understanding." When you are slow to anger, when you're a person that does not get triggered easily, it's because you have great understanding of life, of people, etc.
That's something I gotta get better
Yeah.
at too. Dang. That's
And this
actually
one's and this one's my favorite one, the one that I'm about to read you,
yeah.
because it says here, it tells us that we're allowed to feel angry. Just what I had mentioned a couple of minutes ago. It's okay for us to be angry, even though we are children of God, even though we are believers.
We're still human. I like that's what
We're
you
still
said. We're not
human.
different with the other people,
We're not different. If Ephesians 4:26 says, "Be angry," it's allowing us to be angry. God is telling us, "Be angry." It's okay. Be angry all you want, but do not sin. Be angry and do not sin. And then it continues. It says, "Do not let the sun go down on your anger. What does that mean?
I like that verse. Yeah,
What does that mean?
to me that means
I,
like sorry to cut
and
you off, but
yeah, no, you're good, you're good.
to me that means like I don't know. I feel like you can't. I feel like a lot of people for sure probably go to bed angry when you actually go to sleep, right? And that's
Yeah.
I feel like for me that's what it's talking about. Like don't go to bed angry because that's
Mm,
like really bad for your mind and just like your
yeah.
faith too. So I don't know. What do you think?
That's exactly what it means. You're upset at somebody, you had a fight with somebody, marriages especially. You got in a fight with your spouse. I'm
And
just gonna go to
you're
bed.
married, so you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go to bed, turn the other way. I don't want to talk.
Mm-mm.
But what if something happens throughout the night? Sometimes we don't think about it that way because we're young and we think nothing's gonna happen. But what if something happens to you or your spouse or your friend that you got in a fight with throughout the night and you
Mm.
never get the chance to say I'm sorry?
Yeah.
You never get the chance to rekindle that friendship or reconciliate. You know what I mean? Like, what? How are you gonna feel?
Mm.
I
Horrible.
had a I have a
Probably.
cousin that her friend that happened to her. She had gotten in a fight with her dad many years back. She was young, teenager. Got in a fight with her dad. Went to bed upset, angry at him. Dad had a heart attack throughout the night. Didn't make it in the morning.
Man.
Now she's got to live with that all her life. Is that gonna happen to you? I'm not saying that's gonna happen to you, but it can.
Yeah.
And why risk that?
Hmm.
You know. So it's very important to just come to peace with everybody, make
Yeah.
amends.
Yeah.
Always because you don't get it. That person is just so this and so that, and
It,
I don't. People can be
it's tough.
difficult.
I know.
People can be difficult, but what I'm trying to do here is follow what God
Yeah.
wants me to
I
do.
always ask myself now, like, what would Jesus do?
Yeah, literally. I know
Yeah.
it's so cliche, maybe, and it's like a
For
little
real.
thing that it's used as a joke sometimes, and but honestly, it's the truth. What would
It's
Jesus do?
yeah. And he would immediately say, "I'm sorry, forgive."
Yeah,
Just be the better. We as Christians, I feel like we gotta be the better person. I
yeah,
mean, the other
yeah.
person can be Christian too, but
Right, right.
I don't know. We can maybe be like a little bit just trying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
But no, that's crazy. I mean, 'cause we don't know if we're gonna be alive tomorrow. Then or
yeah.
next week, next year. So like, it's good to just go ahead and like like you said, say I'm
The other
sorry to the other person.
Yeah, the other day on our way to church in the morning, and I don't know if my brother's gonna see this video. So if he does, brother, I love you. I'm sorry. I'm saying this story. Uh but we were on our way to the church, and he was just driving a little bit, recklessly, and I made a comment and it kind of made a little friction. It was him, my dad, and myself, and it kind of made a friction there between him and I, and we kind of got into it just a bit. Again, we're
Yep.
we're human and not perfect, but there is a 9-year difference, right?
Oh wow, I remember
Between
you telling me
between him and
that.
I.
That's crazy.
So that happened, and then we just all stayed silent, and obviously we were clearly both upset. And I just started thinking. I was on my way to church. We're on our way to church. We're gonna
It's
practice
always
before
on
we
your way
start.
to church.
Literally, when the devil tries to steal all that joy,
For
man, like
real,
it's
it's good,
always that. It's always that way. And I
man.
started thinking, I'm like, you know what? Like, one, I'm going to church, and I'm about to lead worship. Like, what am I doing? Out of something so insignificant. I know I tried to give him an advice and he took it the wrong way, maybe, or maybe my tone of voice was not the best.
Yeah.
Which we also have to be careful with that because it's not
Hmm.
what we say, it's how we say it.
Yeah.
So I lean over because my dad was in the middle. It's a one cab vehicle,
Okay.
very enclosed space for two men that were arguing, right?
Awkward silence.
Yeah. So I turn over and I'm like, hey, if I said something that offended you, I'm sorry. Or if I said it in a way that offended you, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want this to um affect what we're about to do at church. I want us to just
And ruined the
worship
whole
with a
day
clean heart.
too.
Yeah, with a clean heart. He didn't say I'm sorry back,
Mm.
right? But I knew he was sorry too. Now, I'm not the type of person that necessarily needs to hear it, though I would like to hear I'm sorry as well. I just at that point, John, and sometimes you're not gonna get an I'm sorry back,
Yeah.
but you need to understand that when you are saying I'm sorry, it's because you also want to be right with the Lord.
Mm.
It's not so much about it is about the person that you offended or
Yeah.
that you made feel bad, but it's also about you. and how you are with God. You know, so even though he didn't say I'm sorry back, I didn't take it as wow, this guy didn't say sorry back. I didn't take it that way. Because one, I knew he was sorry because right away his mood completely changed and we continued talking and we just dropped it.
Yeah.
But if I'm over here thinking, well, I know he needs to say I'm sorry to me because he's the younger brother. No, he was the one that was wrong.
Yeah.
No, he's the, if I wait for that, maybe it's never gonna happen. And what started off so small can get to be so big.
Yep.
But if I take the initiative to say I'm sorry, there's a blessing that comes to my life with that. You
Yeah.
know?
As all, at least you're trying to, like I
Yeah,
said, be the better person too.
right. And show
But
that
you don't always
maturity.
have to say, I guess I'm sorry back either. As long as like you said, like the mood changes or like you just kind of know
Yeah,
he kind of, it just it's better, than it
right.
was. Then I
Yeah,
feel like that's pretty good too,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
I don't always get I'm sorry back either, just to people. So, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? I mean, it's tough. We would like it, but
yeah.
um, I mean, deep down inside, you just know, like, okay, it's little, it's just, it's nothing too crazy big of an argument. Just let it
Hmm.
go. Just drop, like you
Yeah,
said, just drop it. So,
just drop it. Right. So
yeah.
that's what I have for you today. I don't know if you want to add
Man,
anything.
that's crazy. Yeah, though, that was good. I just have a, a couple of verses, I guess, to end off here. I think we all hit the main points with anger
Yeah.
here. And like I said, I mean, hey, I'm only 23 years old. I'm in college, so I'm still learning all this stuff too. I'm not perfect or anything, and that's like the main thing I want to point out in my podcast to the people like watching and listening.
Me too. I
No,
have a young soul.
yeah, yeah,
I
but you.
definitely feel 23 for sure.
No, you actually, for real, you act like you 23. So, wait, how old are you? I don't know if I ever asked you that.
I'm 30.
You're 30?
I'm 30.
Damn, you're unk. That's great.
Unk status.
Unk status, bro. Oh my
It's
gosh.
funny because I'm actually not an uncle, but I'm at that age where I should be one. So
Whoa, that's
my
crazy.
sister needs to hurry up.
I feel that's great. I feel like once you hit 28, you're old. Like that's
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah,
done. But I don't know.
yeah.
But yeah, I have a couple of verses to end off here too. Psalm 37, 8 through 9. And I guess I'll let you read the last one. While I read this one, could you read Proverbs 15:1 if you can?
Proverbs.
But I'll go ahead and read mine first. So, all right, Psalm 37, 8 through 9. And this is, for those of you who don't know, I only use the NLT version, y'all, because so I can understand the Bible. You feel me? Um, so, verse 8. Stop being angry. Turn from your rage. Do not lose your temper. It only leads to harm. For the wicked will be destroyed, but those who trust in the Lord will possess the land.
Amen.
So, yeah, it literally says, I mean, word for word, stop being angry.
Yeah.
you know?
And for those who trust in the Lord, they will possess the land. That means if you trust in Him and do what He calls you to do and do what He asks from you, and that also means forgiving, and
Yep.
that also means saying sorry, then you will possess the land. And that means you will be
Yeah.
able to receive that blessing.
Yeah. He will
Yeah.
help guide you even more and like take you to places you've never been.
Yeah. Proverbs
um,
fifteen
yeah,
one
you got it.
says, a gentle answer deflects anger,
Mhm.
but harsh words make tempers flare.
Yeah, and that's what you said earlier too. Like,
Yeah.
it
It's
depends
not
how
what
you
you
say it
say.
too, and your tone
It's
of
not what you
voice.
say, it's how you say it. Exactly.
How you say it, because if you say like "I'm sorry" sarcastically, they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna get worse." You know what I'm
It's
saying?
gonna get worse.
You
Yeah.
actually have to say it's good. It's gonna take some guts, low key, especially for like
Yeah.
guys, to admit it.
Yeah.
But as long as you do it, that's good.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I thought those two verses were good, and then to end off on episode 16. I know it's low key a short one, but hey, we got, we're ready, we're
It's
prepared.
good.
You
It
know what
was
I'm saying?
good. Good info.
I want to, my goal is to like, really connect with the younger generation. It's
Right.
like in
Hmm.
college people or like high school, I
Hmm.
really, that's why I like these podcasts shorter. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's
Yeah.
kind of my goal with them. So my last verse is, oh wait, I went to Proverbs 14. uh, Proverbs 15:1. It says a gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare.
Hmm.
Oh wait, that's one that you just read.
That's the one I read.
Wait, that's
Yeah,
one you read, right? Wait, my
yeah.
bad. I got mixed up. Wait, Proverbs 14:29. That's right. My bad. My bad. Well, I read it again for
You're
y'all. um, 29. Yeah. Okay. Okay. People with understanding control their anger. A hot temper shows great foolishness.
good. Hmm.
Yeah, because I mean, if you just
Yeah,
respond all the time, being angry or like, some other sarcastic remark back, it's just dumb. It's foolish, especially if
yeah.
it's something so small. I'm like, bro, come on, just
Right.
like you said, just drop it. Like, 'cause I know
Yeah,
siblings. You and I
yeah,
have siblings, and we get at it a little bit,
yeah.
But I think me and my sister, I have a sister, and she's 4 years older than me, and we get into little arguments a little bit, and I'm just like, bro, let's just drop it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
we're getting
yeah,
better at that stuff. I feel
yeah,
like for sure. Um, but yeah, I thought that was a pretty good. If you want to say anything about that verse, but
yeah, yeah. No, it's good. Um, you need to know when you reach that limit, or you need to know when to stop. You know,
yeah,
sometimes it takes a wise person to
hmm,
know when is. You know what? I think this is enough. Let's go ahead and just squash
yeah,
it. If we can't see eye to eye, let's just forget about it. We continue seeing eye to eye. We continue not seeing eye to eye, but we respect each other's opinion, and let's just move on.
that's
That should
right.
not that should not be something that affects our relationship, you know?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's all I got for my. I know it's just verses, but like I said, I like it when you do most of it, and I just kind of like chime in, and give my opinion too.
Yeah.
But I thought you answered the questions well,
Yeah.
and I feel like those were pretty good. Obviously, there's way more to talk about on this topic. We'll come back to it
Yeah.
late on future episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I mean, this is episode 16. You know what I'm saying? From Raft to Peace. Hopefully, you guys got a lot out of it. I know I learned a lot from you, Pastor Tony. Uh, and I appreciate. Do you have like any last words, I guess, to say?
Well,
All right, y'all. So I'm sorry about that. For some reason, Zoom, we only have 45 minutes, so it cuts us off. But
it was a
uh,
good talk,
it
that's
was a
why.
good talk, though. Sorry about that, Pastor Tony. But
You're good, you're good.
so yeah, just to end it off episode 16, I was gonna ask you like what were kind of I already forgot what you said, but what were you saying about like, some of your last final words, I guess, for this episode?
No, that just thank you for the opportunity. I know that we're here learning with each other as we go. I don't portray to know everything because I know I don't. But just you being able to give me this opportunity has helped me, be able to learn as well and grow. And I hope that this is a blessing to everybody that's listening to us the way it's been to me, and we're here to answer any questions that people might have. Like I said, we might not know all the answers, but we try our best to answer them with the word.
That's right.
So thank you once again for having me, and hope to see you guys again sometime in the future.
No, yeah, that's good. But yeah, I want to thank you, Pastor Tony, for pulling up again for episode 16, and thank you all for watching and listening to On the Rise podcast. And yeah, there'll be more future episodes. So we're out. Let's get
Yeah.
it.